Hi, y'all. I miss you. This is Miss Fogarty, and this is how we're going to be learning for the next couple of weeks. Um, it's a video, and so at the bottom, if you ever need to pause it or if you ever need to go back and rewatch something, that is always an option. Also, if you want to take notes on your own paper and pencil as you watch, you can also do that. And so let's get started. So for our new lesson, when you see like M5L4 on your work in Google Classroom, that is just a note for me to say that we're in Module 5, Lesson 4. So that's what those mean. So for our new lesson for today, our learning target is that we're going to be able to use multiplication to calculate volume. And this is just a reminder that volume is those 3D cubes or anything that takes up space. So we built with those cubes last week in class. And so anything that we can put cubes inside of takes up volume. Another reminder is that area is anything that is a 2D shape or anything that is flat. And then for area, we want to find the space inside that flat object. So volume is 3D, it takes up space. And area is the space just inside that flat shape. So for the first example that we're going to go through together before you go to your problem sets is in part 1, we're going to find the volume of rectangular prisms using layers. And so you did this on Friday. And when we see dimensions of rectangular figures, they're always going to be length times width times height. So the length is how long something is, the width is how wide something is, and the height is how tall something is. And so if we want to find the length, okay, well, the length is how long? So 1, 2, 3. We're going to say our length is 3 inches. These are measured in inches. Our width is 2 inches because 1, 2 cubes. And then our height, how tall is our figure? 1, 2, 3, 4. Our height is 4 inches. I'll fill in our width here. So we're going to do the layers just like you did on Friday. So a face, an area of a face, if you have a rectangular prism, like I have this rectangular prism here, this is a face. This is a face. This is a face. Any one of those flat sides of that figure is going to be called a face. And so if we say, okay, what's the area of this face? Well, we could count our cubes since in this one we have cubes to count. We could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so the area of this face is 12 inches squared. I could have also find the area of this face by saying 3 inches times 4 inches gives me 12 inches. Okay, now it's asking me about layers. If I take this, how many layers of that do I have to make my whole rectangular prism? Okay, well, I see this is 1 layer and this is 2 layers. There's a layer behind it. So I have 2 layers. Well, to find the volume, I could multiply the area of my face times how many layers I have, and that will give me my volume, which would be 24 inches cubed. Since volume, we're multiplying a length, a width, and a height. So we have inches cubed because we're multiplying 3 dimensions together. If I took another area of a different side of a face, I took the area of this face. Now let's take the area of this side. Okay, so if I took the area of this side, I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cubes, or I could multiply 2 times 4, which would give me 8 inches squared for the area of this face. Now I'm saying, okay, how many layers do I have of this face? Well, I have 1 layer of it, 2 layers of it, 3 layers of it. So I have 3 layers. I want to say, okay, well, I have 3 copies of that layer. So 8 times 3, 8, 16, 24 is 24 inches cubed because we're in volume. I see something interesting there. Let's go one more way. If I'm going to go from the top down, okay, well, I need to find the area of a face. I've done this face. I've done this face. My only face I have left is the top. If I look straight down on this figure, Okay, well, I could count the cubes again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 inches squared. Now I'm finding the area of the top of my figure. Now, how many layers down do I have of this top layer? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have 4 layers, 4 copies. 6 times 4, 6, 12, 18, 24 is 24. I got the same volume every single time. It doesn't matter which face you choose and which way the amount of layers you're counting. As long as you say, okay, I need an area of a face and how many layers I have of that face, that will get you to your volume. That's part 1. Let's go down to part 2. Part 2 says, let's calculate the volume when the area of a face is given. Now, we don't even have to calculate the area of a face because they just give it to us. So in this top one, okay, well, they say that the area is 4 centimeters, and I know that my height, how tall my figure is 4 centimeters. Okay, well, I know that volume is the same as volume equals length times width times height. Okay, well, I know, okay, area, if I say this and this, well, I can see 1, 2. So my length would be 2, my width is 2, and my height is 4. I'm just going to use my order of operations. 2 times 2 is 4, times 4 is 16, and I know I'm measuring it in centimeters cubed because I have centimeters times centimeters times centimeters. Or I could use what we just learned and say volume is the same as area times the height. Okay, well, if I know the area is 4, and I know my height is 4, well, 4 times 4 is 16, and I have centimeters cubed because centimeters squared times centimeters gives me 3 of those centimeters, which say that I have to cube it. Let's go down to this bottom one. It says that my area of this face is 6 inches squared, and the height is 2. But they don't tell me how many length or width because I can't see the cube, the top anymore, like the cubes. This is just, oh, they tell me that whole space is 6 inches squared. Well, I'm going to say, well, I know that volume. If I have the area of one face and I multiply it by my height, I can still find my volume. So my area is 6 inches squared and my height is 2 inches. Okay, well, 6 times 2 is 12. And if I have inches squared times inches, I'll get inches cubed because I'll have 3 of them. So the volume of this rectangular prism will be 12. I'm going to take the area of one face and say how many layers I have of that area. Let's try one more. On the back, we have, okay, now they're giving us the area of this side panel. That's okay, we still have an area of one face and it tells me how many layers I have of that. So I can still say that my volume is the same as area times how many layers I have. In this case, it's going to be my length. So my area is still 3 meters squared. And my length, how many layers I have of that? I have 3 layers. Okay, 3 times 3 is 9. Meters squared times meters is meters cubed. I have 3 dimensions. So the volume is 9 meters cubed. Let's go down to part 3. It says calculate the volume of rectangular prisms using length times width times height. Okay, well, we've been practicing that. Length times width times height. Okay, well, I just need to see. I remember that length means how long my object is. Width, so I can put my length is 6 centimeters. My width is how wide my object is, so I can put 3 centimeters. And my height is how tall my object is, so I can put 4 centimeters. I'm just going to multiply 1 by 1. So 6 times 3 is 18, and I have centimeters times centimeters, so I have 2 copies of those, so centimeters squared. And I still have my 4 centimeters, I can't forget about it. Now I have 18 times 4. Whoa, if I need to pull over to the side, that's okay. 18 times 4, so 8, 16, 24, 32. 32. 4 times 1 is 4. plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 72, okay. 72, and I have centimeters squared times centimeters. So I have centimeters cubed. That's the volume of this shape. I want to make one more note. If you are writing answers in the Classkick and you want to say 10 centimeters cubed, yes, this exponent tells you to cube it, but in the computer, sometimes it doesn't let us do that so easily. So instead of writing centimeters cubed like this, on the computer, you can write centimeters cubed like this. Or if your unit is inches cubed, you can just write out the words instead of using the exponents, since sometimes that's not as easy to get on the computer. You can now go to your practice set in your Classkick. If you click on the next slide, it'll take you to practice problems. Remember to help each other, use each other. My number is still on the Google Classroom, so if you have questions, you can always text me or call me. I'll be available during the day as well. Your exit ticket is at the end of these slides, so once you complete that, you're done with math for today. I will see you tomorrow. Miss you all. Proud of you.